What's up, everybody? So let's talk about showing up as yourself. Whatever your job is, your business is, your future endeavor, show up as yourself and no one else. There's a song by Jason Nelson that I'm inspired to share with you, and I'm not going to sing it at all, where he says, "Don't count me out. There's a king in me, Goliaths to defeat. Vision comes for me. It's my destiny. Don't count me out." And when we look at the Bible, we know that king is gender neutral. So we're talking to the men and women. He actually says that on a song. In order to understand that there's something within us that if we don't go after it, we just don't feel right, we have to acknowledge that. But we also need to first understand what and who does God say that we are. I wrote down three examples. Number one, in Genesis 1:27, a portion of it says that God created mankind in his own image. What is his image? What did God do? I know that God is a creator. He is the creator. He's the I am that I am. And if he made mankind in his own image, that means I must be special. We have another example coming out of Psalms 139:13-14. You created my inmost being. And in another portion of that, it says, fearfully and wonderfully made. I am fearfully and wonderfully made, and God created me in his innermost being. He created my innermost being. Okay, what does that mean? So let's address the fearfully and wonderfully made. Now, when I think of fearful, I think about Proverbs. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. I know wisdom is a skill, so if he fearfully made me, this ain't on purpose. There's a plan behind this. There's a job, there's goals. And wonderfully made me. He not only made me good, but I'm like a Rolls Royce, but I'm better. I'm like a mansion, but better. It's quality, wonderfully made. I'm not a mistake. Okay. Ephesians 2:10. We are created to do good works. I'm created to serve. I'm created to create. I'm created to be a blessing. I have something to offer. So I took some notes to make sure that I don't talk too much. I want to stay organized for you guys. Showing up as yourself. Let's all consider a person that we admire. There are many people that I admire that I used to wish that I can do things that they do. So in the barbering industry, I would always admire how people faded, how they shaped up, how they did their designs and things like that. And not just the ending product, the style. You know what I mean? Like the style, how they went about doing that thing. Kobe Bryant admired Michael Jordan's game so much that when you see Kobe, you see Mike. Imitation is very flattering. When we admire people, we learn lessons from them. They give us tips and tricks. Whether if they even told us, we learn little details that we implement and put it to our own craft, our own game. So I want you to think about a person that you admire and how they inspired you to focus on your craft and want to be a part, and how it is tempting to try to be them, to say it the way they say it. You know, like when mommy and daddy go away and they leave big bro or little bro to watch the house, we often sound and talk like the very people that we say, I'm not going to be like him. I'm not going to be like her, right? We emulate. Or if you go to a church, sometimes people tend to talk like the pastor when they're sharing in front of people. It's not intentional. It's just They admire the person so much that they emulate them. All right. Imagine that 1 million people are here to hear from you and only you. So if this is true, that means they need to hear my style. They need to hear my voice. And if I present anything else outside of me, they're going to see something that just don't feel right. Like I hear you, but it looks like you're thinking. It looks like you're not sure. You ever seen a parent say, guys, you think we can clean up? Versus the parent that says, everybody clean up. It's time to go to bed. One person is not received the same way the other is. Like I respect you, I'm sharing my time with you, but I don't hear you the same way. So I'm not going to check in nor respond to both commands the same way. All right, we're going to go back to that. And let's go on to the next part where it says your journey exposes your identity. Your journey, your past exposes who you are. All right, so my journey made me who I am. And it gave me a foundation and it exposed the real me when other people see me. My journey did that. When I was becoming a drum major, I had to learn my speaking style. I had to learn, it was at Bowie State University, if anybody wants to know, but I had to learn not only my speaking style, I had to learn how to conduct, I had to learn how to lead, but I can only do it from my perspective. Why? Because the guy that was there before me, and it was actually two of them, I knew that I couldn't be them. First of all, they were older than me. Second of all, they didn't do the same things that I did. So if I tried to act like them, I would be looked upon as an imposter and I wouldn't even feel like myself. If I'm going to sacrifice hours to dedicate myself to this craft, I could at least show up as myself. I can at least learn how to at least sink or swim being me, showing up as myself. That is literally the case for everything. Some of us have an issue. And before I bring on this point, I'm going to read this right here. We tend to receive people in the light that they have already mastered. We tend to receive people in the light that they have already mastered. Some of us have an issue, literally, of trying to do what that person did and wondering why we're not getting results. If it is true that we tend to receive people in the light that they've already mastered, that means if I'm talking to you from the perspective of a barber, it is easier for you to hear me than if I say, hey, I just joined a network marketing company. Do you mind coming out and hearing what I have to offer? I used to sell life insurance. I had an office. I mentioned a little bit of this, where I sold life insurance with my brother. I sold more policies from the barber chair than from the boardroom, the office. The reason being is I can explain it better here. I was uncomfortable there. What's most important is the person received me as Charles the barber easier than they did Charles the experimenting insurance salesman. This is my home court. This is where you know me from. So because this is where you know me from, it is easier to receive me in this life. They have something in business called the upsell. And the upsell means that it's easier to sell the second item once I've already convinced you to buy the first one. So what business people do is we'll sell something easy to receive. Sometimes the sale is giving away something for free, and we make our money on the upsell. Even though it's a smaller percentage of people that buy the upsell, we're just gathering leads on the front end. That's why we try to make it as easy as possible, because it's the upsell that's really going to pay us. So when you're looking at a barber, you've already agreed to buy I'm cutting your hair. That's the hardest part, is getting you in a chair, whether if you know it or not. Now, anything else I introduce to you is an easier sell. That's going on to another teaching for another time, another space. All right. So when I come to you as a life coach, and one of my programs literally involves with entrepreneurship through the lens of a barber, teaching people entrepreneurship ways to earn at least six figures before they can scale it up. The simple business practices and principles that every business person needs to consistently make six figures. You only hear me because you understand that I was a successful barber first. I'm speaking to you from that lens. That's why, and I'll say it again, we tend to receive people in the light that they have already mastered, or from the light that they've already mastered, from the space that they've already mastered. So let's go back to the 1 million people are here to hear from you, and only you. If we're putting respect on our journey and our story, and not trying to avoid what made us, the fabric that made us, if we're not trying to avoid the cloth that we're cut from, if we're not trying to avoid the things that we had to go through that exposed the good things, our foundation, those things that we had to go through that exposed our ability to persevere, that exposed and gave us the opportunity to learn the lessons. It put us in the uncomfortable spaces and places to know that we can show up and show out. That 1 million people can only hear from you, hearing your story, your testimony, your examples. They know and like you because they can identify with you, not the person that you admire. You. They might trip on the speech impediment that the person you admire has. They may trip on the way the person that you admire walks. They may trip on the way that the person you admire dresses. They may even trip on their skin tone, but they ain't tripping on you. But if you hide by simply not showing up as yourself, they will never, ever see you. They'll never have the opportunity of being introduced to the person that God is using to free them. Once again, Ephesians 2:10, we were created to do good works. One of my favorite scriptures is God, what it says in Matthew 5:13, let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven. It's our job to inspire. God is going to get the glory at the end. It's our job to inspire. It's our reasonable service. That's what we're here for. If this inspired you in any way, shape, or form, I pray that you can watch the video over and over again, share it with someone. If you hit the like button, if you put a comment down there, whatever platform you're watching this on, is going to allow other people to see it. Most importantly, I want it to inspire you to change, to not hide from yourself, to show up as yourself. If anyone is looking for any form of life coaching from myself, inbox me. Inbox me. We can talk and I'll respond through there. I'm in the process of putting together a website and organizing it from that standpoint. I want to make sure it's done in decency and order. I finished my program a few weeks ago, last month actually. Certified. Hey, even though I've been coaching from this chair for years. In my book that I haven't released just yet, I talked about my early clients, which you guys know him very well. My brother, he's one of my early clients. Many other clients that I've been blessed to minister to from this particular chair right here. Looking forward to helping each and every one of you if that's what you're looking for. I love you guys. Pray that this inspires you. I'm out.